Assalamu alaikum everyone. How are y'all? How are y'all children? Shall we start the class? So this is a free class, like a trial class. So first of all, I just wanted to tell about the class commencement from June. Okay. So the class for grade 10 will be happening on Fridays. Okay. It will be happening on Fridays. Grade 11 theory class will be happening on Saturday. Okay. It will be happening on Saturday. As well as a paper class for grade 11s, that means the current O-level batch. Okay, that will be happening on Friday. Paper class will also happen on Friday. Okay, so this is the schedule for the classes, right? So I hope that you all might know me, that I'm Miss Fatima. Okay, if you have any doubts, you can contact this number. Okay, like related to science. If you have any doubts, you can contact me. This is my number, right? If you have any doubt related to the class, joining the class, you can contact the number. I'll share you in a while. Okay, the number I'll let you know in a while. Okay. So the class fees are, the theory classes are 1,000 and the past paper class is 750. If you are joining the theory class and the past paper class, then you have to pay only 500 for the paper class. Okay, so that's the plan that we have come across. So then guys, let's start. Okay, can you all hear me? Am I audible to you all? Yes. Theory classes are 1,000. Okay, even if you are joining grade 10 or grade 11, each classes are 1,000. If you are joining the grade 11 class and the past paper class, then you have to pay 500 for the past paper class. That means the theory class 1,000 and the past paper class 500, not 750. Okay, you have to pay in total 1,500. You can cover up the theory as well as the past paper practice. Okay, if you are joining only the past paper, then you have to pay 750. Okay, dear. So at the meantime, while I'm teaching, if you have any doubt, can you drop a message? If you have any doubt, you can ask me. You can send a message to the co-host. Okay. not the host, to the co-host. Okay, I have joined two devices through two devices. Message me to that. Okay, then I can reply to your messages. Right. So then let's start. Minute. Right. So you all have to interactive. You all have to talk to me. You all have to reply to my messages. Right. You all have to reply to my questions. So that's where you are going to learn. So today we are going to study about the second chapter of grade 11, that is photosynthesis. Okay, what is that? Photosynthesis. Okay, so this is a biology lesson. Apart from logical thinking, okay, you don't have any mathematics here. So this is where you're going to understand, and you have most of the parties like to memorize it. Okay, so that is how you learn biology. You can't have any like logical thinking in biology. Whatever it is said in the book, you all have to know. You all have to know that, right? You all have to know that. Okay. So talking about photosynthesis. So photo. What is mean by photo? So according to science, you say photo for light. You say photo for light. You say photo for what? For light. You say photo for light. Guys, you all have to repeat after me. Okay, you all have to repeat. So this is a biology session, right? This is a biology lesson. You have to repeat. So that's where you're going to understand, and something you will understand really better. If you keep on repeating a same thing, you will memorize it automatically. You don't have to sit in a place and spend your time in that. Okay, now itself study and finish it off, right? So photo means, according to science, you call it as the light. Okay, you say photo for light. Synthesis. Okay, synthesis means production. Okay, production. What is that? Production. So using light, so what you have to understand, using light, you're producing something. That process, you call it as photosynthesis. Okay, simple idea on photosynthesis. What is that? You're going to use light and produce something. That you call it as, that process, you call it as photosynthesis. Understood? Like, this is a basic idea on what is photosynthesis. Did you all understand? Okay. So then let's move to the next part. Now when you take a plant, okay, this process will happen in the plant. This process will happen in a plant. Give me a minute. Right. So let's take a plant. I'm not that good at drawing, but adjust it. Okay. So imagine this is a plant. Okay, this is a plant where you have roots under the soil. Okay, this is a plant where you have roots under the soil, right? So you know, photosynthesis is a process that will happen in the presence of sunlight. Okay, you know that it will happen in the presence of sunlight. Okay, photosynthesis is a process, it will happen in the presence of sunlight. So in order to make this process, okay, in order to process this photosynthesis, you need water. Okay, you need water, right? That is H2O. You need water. And you need carbon dioxide. You need carbon dioxide. Let me write it here. You need water. You need carbon dioxide. What else you need? You need light. Okay, from the sunlight, You will get the light energy. From the sunlight, you will get the light energy. And then you need chlorophyll. Okay, chlorophyll. So these are the 4 factors that you need for the process of photosynthesis. So what are those 4? Water, carbon dioxide, light energy, and chlorophyll. Children, repeat after me. So that's where you will understand and automatically you will start to memorize it. So you don't have to spend time again, right? What is that? What are the 4 factors that you need for the process of photosynthesis? Water, carbon dioxide, light energy, and chlorophyll. So these 4 factors, right? So light energy you will get through the sun. You will get the light energy through the sun. So water can be absorbed through the roots. You will observe the water. The plant will absorb the water through the roots. So that process, the way it absorb it through the roots, that process you call it as the osmosis. What is that? Osmosis. I'll tell you the correct, like the proper definition. Okay. What is that? Osmosis. You can't see. Okay, that process you call it as osmosis. So water, how does the plant take water? It takes the water through the process of osmosis. Okay, take it through the roots in the process, undergoing a process called osmosis. Osmosis, what is osmosis? Osmosis means you transfer substance from high concentration to a low concentration in a semi-permeable membrane, right? You transfer substance, okay, from high concentration, okay, and to the low concentration through semi-permeable membrane, through semi-permeable membrane. So that process you call it as the osmosis. So water is absorbed to the plant through the process osmosis. Understood? Understood? Any doubt? Okay. So once again, repeat after me. What are the 4 factors of photosynthesis? Water, carbon dioxide, light energy, and chlorophyll. So when you take water, water is taken into the plant through the roots. Okay, you call it as a root hairs. Okay, in the process, through the process of osmosis. What is meant by osmosis? Substance are transferred from high concentration to low concentration through the semi-permeable membrane. So that process you call it as the osmosis. Understood? Okay. So the next one. So the next one is carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide is observed through the atmosphere. Okay, the carbon dioxide is observed through the atmosphere, right? It undergoes a process called diffusion. What is that? It undergoes a process called diffusion. What is mean by diffusion? So diffusion means where the substance are transferred from high concentration to the low concentration, you call it as diffusion. Similar thing as osmosis, but not semi-permeable membrane is involved in diffusion process. Okay, diffusion process is transferring substance from high concentration to low concentration. That process you call it as diffusion. Osmosis is the same, but through the semi-permeable membrane. Through the semi-permeable membrane. Okay, so this light energy, you have the light energy, no? So that light energy is going to be observed by the chlorophyll. What is that? chlorophyll. So chlorophyll is the green color pigment where you can see on the plants, on the leaf where you can see the green color. So that you call it as the chlorophyll. So the sunlight, the light energy will be observed through the chlorophyll. So when you make this equation, like this scenario, into a what? Into a paragraph format, you will get the definition of what? You will get the definition of photosynthesis. Okay. After this process, now the water is taken in, carbon dioxide is also taken, light energy is observed, everything is taken. What are they going to produce? They are going to process all this for factors, and they will leave out glucose. Okay, they will leave out glucose plus, and they will liberate oxygen. And they will liberate what? Oxygen. These four factors will come in together, they will process, and they will produce. The products are glucose and oxygen. Okay, glucose and oxygen. So these, so maybe in business studies you have studied. Okay, the raw materials, the suppliers will give you the raw materials for the business. So similar to that, so these four factors are the raw materials for the process of photosynthesis. These four factors are the raw materials for the photosynthesis process. So the factors, okay, so using carbon dioxide and water as their raw materials, in the presence of sunlight, using chlorophyll, producing, okay, you are going to use all these four and produce glucose, and you liberate oxygen. So that process, you call it as photosynthesis. Got an idea? I know it might be little messy, but you got an idea. Did you all? Yes, very good. Okay, so now let me write it. Okay, I think the board is little messy. Okay, let me write it here. Okay, so what are you going to do first? First, you start with this. Now, when I ask you what is the definition of photosynthesis, producing their own food, is it correct? No, that is for the grade 5 student. Okay, you all are grade 11s, you can't use those kind of silly definition. It should be meaningful. You are going to explain the process of photosynthesis. Okay, so you are going to use carbon dioxide. Okay, you are going to use carbon dioxide plus water. Okay, you are going to use carbon dioxide plus water in the presence of light energy. In the presence of light energy through chlorophyll, and produce their own food, that is glucose. Okay, produce their own food, that is glucose. Let me write it as glucose, and liberate and liberate oxygen. So this is the equation, not the equation actually. This is the idea. This is a definition of photosynthesis. Let me repeat it once again. And then you are going to say it aloud. Okay. You are going to use, okay. You are going to, you start with by using carbon dioxide, water, and as their raw material. So these are going to be their raw materials. These are going to be their raw materials. By using carbon dioxide, water as their raw materials, utilizing, you're going to utilize the light energy from the sun. You're going to utilize the light energy from the sun. Green plants, okay, you're going to have green plants which contains chlorophyll. Okay, you know that green plants are containing chlorophyll, right? And produce their own food in the in the form of glucose and liberate oxygen. So this is the definition of photosynthesis. Let me repeat it once again. Okay. Learn now itself. Don't keep it to study later. A simple unit you can easily study, right? Learn now itself. Okay. Let me tell you once again. By using carbon dioxide and water as their raw materials, okay, as their raw materials, and utilizing the light energy from the sun, okay, and here you're going to utilize the light energy from the sun, okay. Green plants containing chlorophyll. Green plants contains chlorophyll and produces their own food in the form of glucose and liberate oxygen. So this process you call it as photosynthesis. Understood? Yes, perfect. How about others? How about others? Yes. Okay, great. So can you repeat it yourself once again? Can you repeat this definition once again to yourself? You tell now. What is the process of photosynthesis? By using carbon dioxide and water as their raw materials, utilizing the light energy from the sun, green plants containing chlorophyll and produces their own food in the form of glucose and liberate oxygen, right? And liberate oxygen. Now, if they ask you the word equation, okay? If they ask you the word equation, you write this. You take carbon dioxide plus water in the presence of sunlight, light energy, chlorophyll, glucose, you produce glucose and liberate oxygen. So this is the word equation for photosynthesis. This is the word equation for photosynthesis. Whatever you told as in words, you're going to just put it into an equation. If they ask you the balanced equation, you write this. Carbon dioxide plus water, sunlight energy, chlorophyll, glucose. How do you write glucose? C6H12O6. Okay, this is the formula for glucose. Then you write that C6H12O6 plus you're going to liberate oxygen. Okay, you're going to liberate oxygen. If they ask for the balanced equation, you add 6 in front of everything except for glucose. You add number 6 in front of everything except for glucose. This is the balanced equation. Remember, if they ask an equation, make sure you give the balanced equation. Okay, you are supposed to give the balanced equation. So this is the balanced equation. C6, okay, not C6. Carbon dioxide 6, water 6, oxygen 6, right? So this is the balanced equation. Yes, I'll repeat it. The definition for photosynthesis by using carbon dioxide. Okay, by using carbon dioxide and water as their raw materials. Okay, by using carbon dioxide and water as their raw materials, utilizing the light energy. Green plants contains chlorophyll. Green plants contain chlorophyll and produce their own food in the process in the form of glucose, and they liberate oxygen. So that is the process of photosynthesis. Okay. All right. So the next one. So when you take the factors, now you have 4 factors. No, you have 4 factors. You take the 4 factors. Out of these 4 factors, which is water, carbon dioxide, light energy, and chlorophyll. So these are the 4 factors that is essential for photosynthesis process. Out of these 4, all these 3 are external factors. All these 3 are what factors? External factor. That means water you get out of the plant. Carbon dioxide you get out of the plant. Light energy you get out of the plant. But chlorophyll is an internal factor. Chlorophyll is an internal factor which is present in the green plant. So there are 3 external factors and 1 internal factors. Okay. There are 4 factors in total. 3 are external and 1 is internal. Understood? Okay. So, and then remember, when you talk about the light energy, photosynthesis will be processed. Now, this is the natural way of happening, right? Now, everything can be happen in the way of artificial. Okay, anything is possible to make it artificially. So, this is a natural thing that you can use the sunlight to process this photosynthesis process. But if you are processing this process using a artificial method, then the light energy should contain blue color light. Okay, it should contain blue ray. It should contain blue ray and red ray. Okay, remember this. They might ask you sometime. Okay, if the process is happening in an artificial method, the light energy that is needed for the process photosynthesis is blue ray and red ray. Okay. All right. So let me share the tute. So take a piece of paper. Okay. Take a piece of paper and do the questions that I'm saying you to do. Okay. Do question number 1, question number 2, question number 3, question number 4, question number 4, question number 5. Do all 5 questions. Okay. Quickly do it, guys, and let me know. So then we can start discussing. Definition for osmosis. Osmosis is the process of transferring substance from high concentration to low concentration through semi-permeable membrane. Okay. And can you add one question as well? at this question, right? 6, already 5 at the other question. I'm typing on the screen, okay? At this question. Okay, this is the other question, 6th one. I'll mention it. Okay. Question 6. Do this as well. And guys, there is another free class that will happen at 7. Okay, 7 to 9. So that is structure of matter. Grade 10, unit 3, structure of matter. If anyone wants, you all can join. Okay. Once you all are done, let me know. So then we can discuss and move to the next part. So if anyone willing to join the classes, you can drop a message to this number. Okay. That is 072 802 8444. Okay, you can message this number. Okay, if anyone wanted to know more inquiries, more information, you can contact this number. Yes, dear, only green plant will undergo the process of photosynthesis because they are the one who is going to contain chlorophyll, because chlorophyll is an essential factor. Without that, it is not possible to undergo that process. But maybe in artificially they can, but if it is talking about natural way, it is not possible. Quickly, make it fast. Are you all done, children? Are you all done? Make sure you're writing it. Okay? Write it. Don't think that I understood for now and you don't. Write it. It is just a waste of time. Okay? If you are joining a class, do the work what is given by the teacher. Okay? Do it. Okay, the last one. How about others? How about others? Okay, you're in the fourth question. Right. Make it fast, dear. Very good, Umar sir. Your answers are correct. Very good. In the word equation, you have to write carbon dioxide and water. Okay? You have to write it in words. Okay? Don't use the formula. Glucose is correct. Okay? You have to write it as carbon dioxide, water, and oxygen. Right? You're welcome. Okay, dear. Yes, dear. Photosynthesis, like green plants are autotrophic, where they produce their own food. So animals are heterotrophic, where they depend on other, what? Uh, Other organisms, where they depend on other organisms are heterotrophic. So green plants are autotrophic. Yeah, if you send it's better. I will check whether your answers are correct. Okay. Or else the paper which you have written, just take a picture of it and send it to my WhatsApp number so I can check that answer. Right, I'll give my number. You can send it to that. So, or else you will take time to type in the Zoom chat and send my number. Send to this number, dear. And if you all have any doubts related to science, like do you all wanted to like you all have doubts and you can understand certain path, you can leave a message. I will be helping you all out. Okay, I will never hesitate to help. Right? Any doubts, you all can message me. Okay, shall we discuss? We have more to go. Shall we discuss? Who is doing still? Can you all send a message so then I will see how many of you all are doing? Okay, Sahla, I saw your message. I'll check it in a while and let you know. Okay. Okay, then let's discuss. Okay, I think most of you all have done it, right? So let's discuss. So explain the process of photosynthesis. Can you all tell me? Like, I got the answers. So what is the process of photosynthesis? By using carbon dioxide and water, comma, utilizing light energy, comma, green plants contains chlorophyll, green plants containing chlorophyll, produce and produce their own food in the form of glucose, and liberate oxygen So if you have written this answer, good, very good. Okay, you all have written this answer, very good. So write the word equation and the balanced equation. I will write it on the board. Okay, I will write it on the board. So what's the word equation? Carbon dioxide. Can you all see there? No, right? Dioxide plus water, light energy, chlorophyll, glucose plus oxygen. Okay, so this is the word equation. Balanced equation: 6 carbon dioxide plus 6 water, light energy, I'll write it as light, chlorophyll, C6H12O6 plus oxygen. Okay, 6 oxygen. So this is the balanced equation. Okay, if you all have written this, very good. So what are the 3 external factors needed for photosynthesis? That is photosynthesis. Okay, there's a printing mistake. Right? What are the factors? Carbon dioxide, water, and light energy. So what is the internal factor for photosynthesis? That is chlorophyll. What are the 2 colors of light observed by chlorophyll? That is blue color ray and red ray. So define osmosis and diffusion. So what is osmosis? Osmosis is a process where transferring substance from high concentration to low concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. Okay. Diffusion is transferring substance from high concentration to low concentration. Okay. Is there any other questions that I can? Right. So let's continue. Okay. So now when you take the product, so what is the product? The product is glucose. So the product of the process photosynthesis is glucose and oxygen So out of these two, glucose is the main product. So the main purpose of processing this photosynthesis process in order to produce their own food, that is glucose. So that is the main product of this process. This is the byproduct. Okay, this is the byproduct. This that means the second product. Like while producing this is also being produced. So this is the byproduct of the process. Okay, this is the byproduct of the process. Right. So now when you take the plant, initially the plant produces the produces their own food in the in the form of glucose, right? So the plant is producing, after they undergo the process photosynthesis, they are producing their food in the form of glucose, right? After a while, this glucose is transported. Okay, this glucose is transported in the form of sucrose. So this word you all might have learned in your grade 10 first lesson, right? Sucrose, these are monosaccharide. This is not monosaccharide. Okay, glucose is a monosaccharide. This is a disaccharide. Okay, so it is transported in the form of sucrose, and later it is stored in the form of starch. Later it is formed in the form of starch, right? So the starch, okay, the glucose stored in the daytime. Now remember, this glucose is stored in the daytime. In the, like when you take the leaf, it is stored in the daytime in the form of starch. Okay, it is stored in the form of starch. Later in the night time, what happens to this starch is they will convert to glucose. Sorry, they will convert to sucrose. Okay, they will convert to sucrose and transport to the storage medium. Okay, this sucrose will be transported to the storage medium, storage organ. You can tell the word storage organ. Okay, this will be transported to the storage organ, and again it will be transported. It will be converted to starch and stored in the plant. Okay, what will happen in the plant? Okay, in the plant, glucose will be stored as the starch in the daytime. This is in the daytime, right? In the night time, what will happen? This starch will convert to sucrose and they will be sent to the storage organ. They will be sent to the storage organ. Later, what will happen? This will convert, after they stored in the storage organ, they will convert back to the starch. They will convert back to starch. Okay, they will convert back to this starch. Understood? Understood? So let me repeat it once again. So in the plant, food is produced in the form of glucose, transported in the form of sucrose, stored in the form of starch. That process I explained here. Okay, in the daytime, the glucose will be converted to starch, and this starch will be converted. Okay, this starch will be converted in the night time to sucrose. Okay, this sucrose will be transported to the storage organ. They are going to be sent to the storage organ, right? Once they are in the storage organ, again they will convert back to starch, right? Understood? Right. So let me share the screen and do these questions. Do question number 8. Question number 10. Question number 11. Question number 12. Like simple questions, I have just made it, I have exaggerated. Okay. Simple idea, one word answers. Okay. Right. Can I do this question please from 8 to 13? Seventh one answer is Blu-ray and red ray. Okay. Blu-ray and red ray. Quickly do this question so then we can discuss and then we can move to the next part. Once the session is over, can you all send a feedback of this session? Like whether did you all understood or not, so then it would be helpful for the next session. Which one, Umar? You mean this part? Is it this part, dear? Can you all see the screen? I mean the board? Yes. So in the plant, the food, okay, now the photosynthesis process is happening in order to produce their own food, right? So while that process is done, the product is released, no? So that product which is stored in the plant is in the form of glucose. Okay, they are producing in the form of glucose. Later, while transporting to the storage organ, that glucose is converted to sucrose. Okay, it is converted to sucrose. Later, after it is stored in the storage organ, it is converted back to the starch. It is converted back to starch. Okay, so glucose is produced. Okay, produced in the form of glucose, transported in the form of sucrose. Again, it is stored in the form of starch. Okay. Yeah, welcome. Okay, done with the questions. We have lot to more, lot to go. Okay. Shall we discuss? Shall we discuss? Are you all done with your answers? If anyone wants a soft copy of this PDF, just drop me a message. I'll send it. Okay. Afkia, can you drop a message to my number, dear, so then I can share this with you. Right. Let's discuss. Okay, I think that would be enough of time. Just we have 1 more hour. So I have to move to the main parts of this lesson. Right? So, 8th question. Write the main and the byproduct of photosynthesis. So, what is the main product? What is the main product? That is glucose. The main product is glucose. The main product is Okay, the main product is glucose. And what's the byproduct? Starch. The byproduct is starch. So the 10th question, write the process by which the following factors are taken by the plant. I told you this, the carbon dioxide is taken to the plant in the process of diffusion. Okay, I should give this question earlier, but I didn't notice that. Okay, water osmosis. Water is taken into the plant through the process of osmosis. Sunlight is taken by the chlorophyll. Sunlight is observed by the chlorophyll. Okay, right. So in which form? Oh. There is a typing mistake. Let me get to. Okay, that is supposed to be the food. Okay. So in which form? I think in the plants. Okay, that's plants maybe. I don't. Okay, it is in the produced in the form of glucose. Produced in the form of glucose. Transported in the form of sucrose. Transported in the form of sucrose. Stored in the form of starch. Are you all getting the same answer? Did you all get the same answer, children? Yes? Very good, Sahla. Right. How is the main product of the process is stored? Oh, of the process of photosynthesis stored in the daytime. So that means what is the main product? Glucose. So glucose in the daytime it is stored in the form of starch. The daytime it is stored in the form of starch. What happens to starch in the nighttime? So the starch will convert. The starch here is starch. Starch will convert to sucrose and it will be transported to storage organ and later it will be converted to starch. Okay, so sucrose will be converted to starch. Sucrose will be transported to storage organ. Later it will be transported to the after transported it will be converted to starch, right? Right. So understood so far? Any doubt? Any doubt? No. Okay, great. So the next part will be, let me stop sharing. Okay. So the energy transformation. Now you know, in order to undergo the process photosynthesis, you need light energy, right? This light energy will be converted. The light energy will be transformed to chemical energy. Okay, during the process of photosynthesis, this light energy will be transported to chemical energy, right? You use the light energy for the process. After the process, you release chemicals. That is C6H12, O6 plus O2. These are chemicals. Okay, these are chemical reactions. So light energy will be converted to chemical energy. So that is the energy transformation. Right? So there's a question related to that. I'll give it in the next time. Right. So the next part. So today I will be discussing the first two experiment. Okay, the first two experiment, because completing in one day a chapter, it is not that possible to do it. Okay, so inshallah, I think the next week also we will have some free sessions. If you all have any suggestion on which lesson that the free session should be done, just drop me a message. I will consider about it. Okay. If you all have any suggestion to be given, like you feel this lesson is hard, even if it is from grade 10 or 11, that will be fine. Okay, just drop me a message. I'll think about it. Right. So now we are going to talk about the experiment on identifying whether starch is present in sunlight. Sorry, starch is present in this plant. Okay. So now, why do you want to identify the starch is present? You know that if you have starch on a leaf, that means it have undergone the process photosynthesis. Because starch, how did you get the starch? It is being processed with the glucose. Glucose have converted to sucrose. Later you got the starch. So you can identify if you have starch in a plant. If you have starch in a plant, that means that plant have undergone photosynthesis. It has undergone the process photosynthesis. So that's why we are going to test using a experiment. Okay, we are going to undergo an experiment. Right. So what you do first? You pluck a leaf. The first step of this process, you pluck a leaf which was in sunlight. Okay. What do? You pluck a leaf from a plant which was in sunlight. Why do you keep it in the sunlight? Can you all tell me? Why do you keep it in the sunlight? In order to confirm that the plant has undergone photosynthesis process. But if you keep it in the sunlight only, that equation will be completed. You know, right? Carbon dioxide plus water, you need light energy. So light energy, you get it from the sun. So the plant should be in the sun, in front of the sunlight. Therefore, this process will take place. So you pluck a leaf which was in sunlight in order to confirm that it has undergone photosynthesis. Okay, that is the reason. What is the reason? Confirm that it has undergone photosynthesis. Okay, it has undergone photosynthesis. Okay, so that is the first step. What is the first step? You pluck a leaf from a plant which was in sunlight. Okay, give me a minute. Which was in sunlight. Okay, the next step, what you do is you boil this leaf. Okay, you boil this leaf in water. You boil the leaf in water. Why do you boil this leaf in water? In order to break the cell wall. When you break the cell wall only, they can the experiment will work out if you break the cell wall. Okay, you need to break the cell wall. Therefore, you boil the leaf. Okay, the reason why you are boiling the leaf is to break the cell wall. Okay, that's the second step. The third step, okay, is you're going to double boil in alcohol. Okay, you're going to double boil this leaf in alcohol. Why do you double boil? Now, in this test tube, you have the alcohol. Here you have the alcohol. And you're going to double boil this in the water. You're going to double boil this in water. Why don't you, now you might get a question, why don't they directly boil this in the alcohol? Because children, you know that alcohol is highly inflammable. That can cause the destruction of this experiment. Therefore, in order to avoid that, they are double boiling this in the water. They are double boiling this in the water. Okay. Why do they want a double boil? So what will happen is, if they double boil, okay, this alcohol will absorb all the chlorophyll towards them. Okay, they will absorb all the chlorophyll towards them. Then the leaf will become pale in color. Okay, then the leaf will become pale in color. Right? The leaf will become pale in color. So why do they double boil in water? Since the alcohol is highly inflammable, they are going to double boil this in water. Right? So they are using alcohol to boil this because to remove all the chlorophyll present in the leaf. Okay, in order to remove all the chlorophyll present in the leaf. Okay, which one, dear? The third step. Is it the third step from the first? Yeah. So what you do is, now you pluck a leaf from the sun. Okay, which was in the sunlight. Okay, why do you do that? In order to confirm that the leaf has undergone the process of photosynthesis. You know that sunlight is necessary. It is an essential factor in order to undergo photosynthesis, right? So that means you keep that in order to check whether in order to confirm that the leaf has undergone photosynthesis. So that's the first step. Okay, you're going to pluck a leaf. Second one, you're going to boil this leaf. Okay, you are going to boil this leaf in order to break the cell wall. Okay, to further undergo this experiment, you need to break the cell wall. Okay, so therefore you boil the leaf in water, right? Later, the third step is this. What you do? You double boil the leaf in alcohol. You double boil the leaf in alcohol. So you might get a question, why don't they boil the leaf in alcohol? Because alcohol is highly inflammable. They can destruct the process. They can destruct the experiment. Therefore, they put this in a water beaker and they double boil the leaf. Okay? They double boil the leaf. Right? So, why do they use alcohol in this beaker? Alcohol in this test tube in order to remove the chlorophyll present. Okay? To remove the chlorophyll. To remove the chlorophyll that is present in the plant. That is present in the leaf. So, that is the process. Okay? Clear so far? Any doubt? Any doubt? You're welcome. Okay, perfect. So the fourth step, okay? So the fourth step, let's move to the fourth step. You're going to wash the leaf, okay? You're going to wash the leaf, okay? How do I add the water? Okay, imagine you're washing, okay? I'm not that good at drawing, okay? You're washing the leaf. Why do you want to wash the leaf? In order to remove the alcohol present in the leaf. In order to remove the alcohol present in the leaf. Right? Remove the alcohol. Alcohol that is present in the leaf. The fifth step, you add a few drops of iodine solution. You know what is iodine solution, right? So you have learned in the first lesson of grade 10. Okay, chemical basis of life. So where you do this, you use iodine in order to identify where do you have, where it is present in starch or not. To prove that starch is present or not, you use iodine solution. Okay, you put few drops of iodine solution. Okay, you add few drops of iodine solution. Okay, and then the starch test will be continued. What will happen is, this is the method. Okay, this is the method that this process is about this experiment. This is the method of this experiment. Okay, now the observation. When you add the leaf, okay, when you add the iodine solution, this leaf will turn into blue color, blue, dark purple, purplish blue. So those colors are that purplish blue, that shows that it is present in starch. Because if you have iodine solution, if starch is present, that will turn into purplish blue or blue, dark purple, any sort of that colors, it will convert it. Okay, so that means it proves that this plant has undergone photosynthesis. So this is the observation. So observation is something what you observe. So when you add the iodine solution, what you see? It has turned, the leaf has turned into purplish blue. The leaf has turned into purplish blue, right? Therefore, you can conclude with, what are you going to conclude it? This plant has undergone photosynthesis. Okay, this plant has undergone photosynthesis, right? Understood? Shall I explain it once again? Because this is important. Sometimes they might ask you essay questions as well. Okay, if you are a grade level student, maybe for the first term or the second term, there are high chances to give questions in order to explain this experiment. Okay, so therefore you should know the steps as well uh, as the observation conclusion. Okay, it has come in your paper. Okay, so make sure you write it very clearly. Okay, you have a clear idea. Okay, so is it necessary to explain it once again? Understood? Very thorough? Very clear? Any doubt? If you have any doubt, you can ask. Any doubt? Okay, that's great. So then, I'll share that PDF. Okay, I'll share it. Quickly write it. Okay, we have another one more to discuss as well. Okay. So the 14th question. Can you please do the 14th question, children? Okay. So what I have drawn on the board, something similar, you draw it. So then it would be easier when you are studying again, right? That means when you are revising what you have studied, when it is closer to your exam, you just don't need to sit and memorize whatever it is. If you see these pictures like what I have drawn, so something similar, if you have sort of a picture, then it is easy to understand. Because biology, it is nothing logical thinking. What is given in the book, you are supposed to memorize it and write it. You will get the marks. So that's why the biology parts are easy, most probably for everyone. Yeah, even it was easy for me as well. Right? Can I please do this question so then we can discuss and we can move to the next part. If you are done, just drop me a message so then I will be knowing that you all are done. Can you all see the whiteboard? Like while I'm sharing the screen? Is the whiteboard visible? Yes. Okay. No, it's not visible up here. Are you all done, children? Shall we discuss? Are you all done? Shall we discuss? Okay, we have just half an hour more to end the session. I should teach the next part as well. Done? Are you all doing, by the way? Okay. 2 more minutes. Let's discuss. Okay. Okay, I think the time is enough. Shall we discuss? Are you all done? How about others? Are you all done? Yes. Okay, then let's discuss. Okay. So what is the first step? What are you going to do first? You're going to pluck a leaf which was in sunlight. Okay? You're going to pluck a leaf. Very good. Pluck a leaf from, from a plant which was in sunlight. Which was in sunlight. Okay? Why do you do that? In order to confirm. In order to confirm that the leaf has undergone photosynthesis. Okay, so this is the reason. Right. So the next one. What's the next step? What do you do next? You boil the water. Yes, very good. You boil the leaf. Boil the leaf in water. You boil the leaf in water. Why do you do that? To break the cell wall. To break the cell wall. Right? So what's the third one? You double boil the leaf in alcohol. Why do you do this? Why do you double boil in alcohol? Yes, to get rid of the chlorophyll. Why do you use the double boiling method? Why do you use the double boiling method? Because it's highly inflammable. Okay, you use the double boiling method to avoid the destruction caused by the alcohol. Yes, very good. Right? Here if you write it to remove the alcohol, that is enough. And the double boiling method, if you mention that, that's great. Okay. So the next, what's the fourth step? You wash the leaf. You wash the leaf. Why do you do that? To remove the alcohol. To remove the alcohol that is present in the leaf. Okay. The fifth one, why do you do that? You add drops of iodine solution. Okay. Adding few drops of iodine solution. Why do you do that? To confirm that starch is present in the leaf. Okay, to confirm that the starch is present in the leaf. Right. So what's the observation? Leaf will turn into purplish blue. Purplish blue, dark purple, anything is fine. The color doesn't matter. Like similar colors. If you just give, it's okay. Okay. So what's the conclusion? Yes, it has undergone photosynthesis. Photosynthesis process has been taken. Right? So if you write that, that is done. Okay, if you have drawn the above process which I have drawn on the board, if you draw something similar, great. Okay? Clear? Any doubts so far on this lesson? Any doubt? Oh, that's great. Okay, very good. Okay. So now let's talk about the second. Okay, the remaining two, inshallah, most probably the next class. Okay. Maybe next week I might have the continuation part or else another free session. Okay. If you all wanted any lessons, I'm repeating again. If you all are in need of studying any other lessons, you feel that it's difficult to study, if you have any that sort of a thing, just let me know. I will help you out. Okay. Right. Give me a minute. Sahla, drop a message to my WhatsApp number. I will send you the details in order to join the class. Okay. Send a message. I'll message you. Give me a minute. Okay. So now let's talk about the second experiment. Now in this lesson, after this, now you saw that you're proving that you're confirming that the plant has undergone photosynthesis. After that, what are you going to do is you're going to prove you're going to prove all four factors that is essential for photosynthesis. So you're going to prove that. Okay. Out of that four, today I will be talking about carbon dioxide. Okay, today I will be talking about carbon dioxide is essential for the process of photosynthesis. So that is what I'm going to explain today. Give me a minute, guys. Okay, so you're going to prove that carbon dioxide is present in the leaf. Carbon dioxide is essential for the process of photosynthesis. To prove that process, okay, to prove that process, you are going to have a plant. Okay, you're going to have a plant. Okay, this is a plant. Okay, this is a plant. You're going to take two leaves. Okay, you're going to take two leaves and you're going to cover them with polythene bag. Okay, you're going to have two transparent polythene bag and you're going to cover the leaf with that. Okay, in one plant, okay, in one leaf, let it be A and B. Okay, this is A leaf, this is B leaf. Okay, in the A leaf, any one of these, you're going to add potassium hydroxide or sodium hydroxide. You are going to add what? Potassium hydroxide or sodium hydroxide. Okay, you're going to add potassium hydroxide or sodium hydroxide. The reason to add this is to remove all the remove all the carbon dioxide that is present in the leaf. Okay, to remove all the carbon dioxide, to observe the carbon dioxide, you use this chemical. Okay, what is that chemical? Potassium hydroxide, sodium hydroxide. You add in one polythene bag. Let it be A. Right. So that is the second step. What is the second? What's the first step? You're going to take two similar leaf. You're going to take two similar leaf. Let it be A and B. Second step, in one leaf, both the leaf, you're going to cover it up with the polythene bag. Out of that, for one, you're going to add potassium hydroxide or sodium hydroxide, right? And equal amount, the third step, okay, the third step, you're going to add equal amount of water to the other plant, to the other polythene bag. Now, amount of potassium hydroxide or sodium hydroxide that you add to the A leaf, the equal amount of that you're going to add water to the B leaf. Okay, the equal amount of water that you're going to add for the B leaf. Okay, right. So you do this, you add water to B leaf as a control experiment. To control the experiment, since you add here the potassium hydroxide, to balance that, you add water to the B leaf. You add water to the B leaf. Okay? Give me a minute. Okay? You add water to the B leaf as a control experiment. What is that? Control experiment. Okay? Right. So the third step, what are you going to do in the third step? You're going to place this plant in front of sunlight. Okay, in front of sunlight for 3 to 5 hours. For 3 to 5 hours, you're going to keep this set up in the sunlight. Okay. After that, you're going to plug these two leaf. Okay, you're going to plug the A leaf and the B leaf, and you're going to do starch test. Let this be the A leaf and this is the B leaf. Okay, this is the B leaf, right? You did the starch test. What is a starch test? You add few drops of iodine solution. Okay, iodine solution. Okay, in both you add few drops of iodine solution. A will not, there will be no color change in A. No color change. Okay, there will be no color change in A. At the meantime, B will turn into purplish blue. Purplish blue, dark blue, anything is fine. Okay, it will turn to purplish blue. Why is that? Why do you do starch test? To find out whether you have carbon dioxide or not. Because you know, starch test is used to find whether you have starch. You will have starch in a plant when they have undergone the process of photosynthesis. To undergo photosynthesis, you need carbon dioxide. To undergo this process, you need carbon dioxide. No. Then if you don't have carbon dioxide, there will be no photosynthesis. If there is no photosynthesis, there will be no starch. If there is no starch, there will be no color change. Understood? Understood the idea? Understood? Yes. Right. Yes, the presence and absence of carbon dioxide. Okay, here in A leaf, there is no carbon dioxide. You use potassium hydroxide or sodium hydroxide to absorb all the carbon dioxide. In B leaf, you have the carbon dioxide. So therefore, they bring out a color change. Here you don't have carbon dioxide. They will not bring out a color change. Right? So that is the observation. A leaf, there will be no color change. B leaf will turn into purplish blue or dark blue anyway, right? So you conclude, okay, the conclusion, what would be the conclusion? Carbon dioxide is essential. Carbon dioxide is essential for the process of photosynthesis. Okay, carbon dioxide is essential for the process of photosynthesis. Understood? Any doubt? Yeah, that black polythene you should use for to prove sunlight is essential. Okay, that is another experiment, not for this. For this, you use two transparent polythene, but you add potassium hydroxide or sodium hydroxide. Black polythene you use for the to prove that light energy is essential for photosynthesis. Okay, dear. Okay. So any doubt? Any doubt for today's lesson? So for now it is over, right? So don't leave. Okay, don't leave. I'll upload the. I'll share the what? I'll share the tune. Do the question for this, and then you all can leave. Okay, do the question and then leave. Okay, don't be in hurry. Okay, don't waste it. I'll share it now, so then you can do it and then you leave. So don't leave before that, please. Right. Can you do this question? Quickly do it. Guys, send a feedback of the lesson today, like of the teaching. How was it? Yeah, let me know. Send to my WhatsApp number. Okay. Guys, share this with your friends that the classes I'm going to start from June. Okay. So the classes fees I have told you already. The theory classes are 1,000 and the paper class for the grade 11 is 750. If you are joining both theory and paper, it is in total you have to pay just 1,500. Okay. Share with your friends. There are so many children who cannot afford for expensive classes. So concerning about that, I have started this. Share with your friends. It would be benefited for them as well. Okay. Do it quickly so then we can discuss. Are you done, guys? Are you done, children? Shall we discuss? Make it fast so then we can discuss. We have just 5 more minutes. Done. Okay. How about others? Okay, let's discuss. Okay, look. Okay, I'm discussing. So what's the first step? What do you do first? What do you do first? You select a leaf. Yes, you select two similar leaves. Okay, you select two similar leaves. Right? Okay, let it be. I'm writing it here. A and B. Okay, let the leaf be A and B. So what's the second step? What do you do next? Add. Yeah, add two clear polythene bags as well. You're going to add potassium hydroxide. Okay, you don't have to mention that you're making. No, it's better. Okay, it's better. Okay, you're going to tie with two polythene bags. Tie the leaf with polythene bags, transparent bags, and tie the leaves. Tie the leaves with transparent bags and add potassium hydroxide or sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide or sodium hydroxide to either one of the leaf. Either one of the leaf. Okay. So that's the second. That's the second one. Why do you add potassium hydroxide or sodium hydroxide? To observe the carbon dioxide. To observe carbon CO2. Okay, to observe carbon dioxide. Okay, third one. What's the third step? What's the third step? Yes, you add water. Now you're adding sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide to the A leaf. That means you're going to add water to the B leaf. Okay, add water to the other leaf. Okay, right. Why do you add? This is considered as a control experiment. This will consider as a control experiment. Okay. Yeah, for the equal amount of potassium hydroxide. Okay. For the equal amount of potassium hydroxide you add. Okay. The fourth one. What's the fourth one? Place the setup in the sunlight for 3 to 5 hours. For 3 to 5 hours. Okay. What is the reason? To allow photosynthesis to take place. To allow photosynthesis to take place. Okay. The fifth one. What's the fifth one? What's the fifth one? You are going to detach. Okay, detach the leaves from the plant. Okay, detach the leaf. That would be enough. Detach the leaf and carry out the starch test. And you're going to do the starch test. Okay. So that's the fifth one. Right. So what is the observation? What is the observation? What do you observe? What do you observe? Yes. No color change in A leaf, and B leaf will turn into purplish blue. Purplish blue. Okay. So what's the conclusion? Carbon dioxide is essential for photosynthesis. Essential for photosynthesis. Okay? Clear? Any doubt? Any doubt? No. Okay. So that's all for today. Okay, I hope that everybody understood and learned this lesson well. Okay. If you have any doubts, okay, you can leave a message to my WhatsApp number. Without zero hesitation, I will be replying it here. Okay. Drop a feedback, okay, on how was the session. Okay, that would be motivating me to do more. Okay. So then that's all for the session. Okay, you can leave, guys. Assalamualaikum. Bye. You're welcome. Hello. Hi.